Hello, good morning. Yeah, so here we are. We are trying to work on part two, which is this thing, Dax function types. So for this, there are many functions available in Dax forms. Things like you can use formulas like a- aggregation, like sum, average, min, max. You can do counting, count X. You have logical, which is and or not. You have information is blank, is number, is text. You have date, hour, month, and you have text. Concatenate the text. So DAX is, it's a language used for Power BI, collection of function, operators, and constant that can be used in formula or expression to calculate multiple values. So basically, we have this Power BI, and we inserted this table the account. And so if you want to do insert one more table in here, we can go file, insert. We can put in another one of these things, Excel expenses. Okay, expenses. So here in order we have country, city, and all these things. So if we go to the next one, then DAX formula will help you get the most out of your data. It will be create reports that are valuable and easy to see. You can begin to solve the real business problem. Okay, so here's the column. So here, if you go in here and you click on home, uh, modeling, and then you go into new column. So you have a new column here, and then you can call it stuff like this. Like for example, you have a column equals var product times into order. In order we have this thing. We have quantity times order. 100 times, I guess, sales. So we have hit enter. We get a new column here put in here. It's called column. So that's what that does. And then so then you have, you know you can do more complicated things. Like for example, there we have a sum x function. There's a sum x function, and basically what it does is you have you have values like, for example, a value like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to aggregate it, we can add the first two, and then we can get a 3 here, and we can add 3 plus 3, which is 9, and 9 or 12. So here we get 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So this is what the sumx function does, and basically what you have is you have right here sum x like this, like this. Okay. Sum x. So we have right here we have order, comma orders. That's the name of the table, and this is what we are doing here. So we are taking the quantity, and we're multiplying by sales. This. We have this order. We have order. We're multiplying this. So here we have add aggregate. So we hit enter, and then we get a new column here probably. Okay. Then we have things going on. We have functions that can be grouped with others like sum, average, min, max, or x. So we can do grouping or something over there. See here we have we do a function here. We can do transaction, customer ID, transaction minimum, and merchant ID. So we can calculate tax formula from calculated columns. So if we have columns that are already calculated, so here we have customer ID, merchant ID, and transaction. So we can get a unique ID for each of them. So this goes in this column. So it is tax formula can be used and create a new column with that. These are the aggregate functions: sum, average, min, sum max. So here for sum max you need the name of the table and stuff like that, like global store 2016 and profit. So for min you just need to put in min and profit. So if you want to do a min, here we can just do this min, and then we can get this. Min, the quantity. And we can put in the table name, which is I guess orders. See, and hit enter, we can get a min. Which you can plot now, and then we have other stuff like the distinct count. So distinct count of all the order IDs. We have here order ID, distinct count of that, like when we get a count. Otherwise we have stuff like we can do we have another one. It's called this one, what they call this is called total order big pen blue. So here we're trying to get all the stuff from the blue, and then we do like a count x, right? And then we have then we do a filter of orders, product name, and we get a filter of this and get the count and put that in total PIC. So now go to the next one. We see, we have a if statement. We can have a if statement. Total sales is if order of profit is less than 10, then we can name it needs improvement. If orders of profit is less than 25, then we call it considerable, and we can do considerable or give amount, give a discount. So this can be done here. We take this, here, and basically what we have is product sales equals if order profit less than 10 needs improvement, if orders profit is less than 25 considerable, price give discount. We have order, we have profit, give discount. Here we can look at this stuff in the tabular data, so you can see if put in that tax query product sales, and it should come here, product sales. So we get considerable, give discount, need improvement, and all that. We have DAX results in the expression var name expression. Evaluate for each rows of the table. It stores as a variable. You have text functions, which is stuff like modified to work with tables and columns. You do concatenate. We can get some certain strings out of the profit sales. We can get text numbers, boolean number. You have length. We can get the length of the city. Replace the old text with start number and number car and new text. Here we can replace the stuff. Here we can do a lowercase. Count text is like an important function here. Counts the number of rows that contains numbers expression. So we have count text. Table contains the row to be counted. This is very similar to SumX, which I showed earlier. So basically you're counting X amount of things in there, and we can go to the next one. This is an example of count text. You have a filter, order product name, Boston sketch by watercolor. So we can filter through orders and product name, and then we can get the what is called Boston sketch pen watercolor, and then we can count all of them and do the order quantity. So we can get the quantity of all of these things, and we can put it right here in this column. Now here Dax Syntax, which is this is the initial thing. We have operator, we can use arguments like if else, expressions, like we looked at operators, references. Also we can use arrays. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And we have counting. So this is the count rows, count stuff. You can have stuff like we can have stuff over here. We can call it product orders equals count rows relative table orders done if product orders is greater than 100, excellent sales if product orders is less than 200, and we can call it sales needs improvement, market is moderate, and we can close. And then finally, we can use things like to look at calendar stuff. We can do some date key like there is a calendar, and then we have min orders orders, date, and you have max, orders, order date. This is the date key column that we get out. Yeah, there's some multiple table error, but we can fix it later. And we have, name of the column as unique ID. We have this column. We can do same period last year. We can get some stuff. We can do calculate, and we get total sales and same period last year date, and we can get the total sale from last year. We have a count tax function, which we already talked about. Here's the example count tax filter Boston. Yeah, we already talked about some X. So here, we can create a relationship with multiple tables. We have order table and we have a table one. So it includes tables that belong to different data source. Can see a relationship between these. For example, if you have here you have order, then we put in we have a table here. We call it table one with product ID preferred. We can call it table one. Product ID. So basically, yeah, we have that, and then again. So basically, if we create a relationship here between these two, we between this customer ID and this other ID, which is account ID. We have relationship here. So basically now if we put in some data like this, map slicer. I gotta figure that out. But if you put that relationship, then you should be able to, as you change these things, then it should work. Because I think what will happen is that if you have one of those things, and you select any of these things, so it will change according to profit order. If you put in a certain profit, if you select certain quantity or profit, then the table one data will change accordingly. So some relationship is created. There's total Mtd function, which is TD equals total MTD, total sales and date. So what you can do is you can create a measure that calculates the month running total. So basically you can create a pivot table, you can add the fields calendar year to the row level area of the pivot table. Then you can add a measure name month total and to the pivot total sales according to date. They give you that thing. So maybe we can work on that. We can put this in here. Now we can get last total sales Mtd equals total sale Mtd total sales comma date date like this. It should be something like this. So we got this, and then we have a calculate function also. You can do stuff like calculate total sales, comma, same period last year, date key, data. We can use the box office there since we have box office. So we can do that and we can figure out that because the last year's sales. We can do dax query. We can run query return data by table expression also. We can use this in SQL Management Studio and the other thing as well. So thank you for today, and we'll talk again after we get the next information. Have a nice day.